Going without onion and garlic is a huge pain point on the low FODMAP diet. These ingredients are in so many dishes, and a lot of people feel like their food is just going to be bland and boring without them. But there are some really good news. There are some easy ways you can bring that flavor back into your dishes while you settle your symptoms on the low FODMAP diet. Today, I'm talking to Chloe Valentine. She is a research dietitian from the Monash University Dietitian Team, and she's here to talk to us about onion and garlic infused oil and how they can be included during the first phase. Hi, Chloe.
Hi, Lana.
Now, Chloe, just before we get started, let's talk about onion and garlic no-goes on the diet. Like, what should we be avoiding in the first phase?
Sure. So I think everyone starting the FODMAP diet, I feel like the first thing they always know is that onion and garlic are those really concentrated source of FODMAPs. But something they often get asked about, and I'm sure you do as well, is powdered or dried onion and garlic. Now, these are actually really even more concentrated versions of onion and garlic because the water's removed and we've actually got a lot of FODMAPs in there. So no fresh onion and garlic, no dried or powdered onion and garlic either.
Okay, so there's your baseline. We are removing those. So how do we get that flavor back in our diet? Why are onion and garlic infused oils considered low FODMAP?
So this is where we get into a bit of the science, I guess, the nitty gritty of the FODMAPs and the carbohydrates. So the FODMAPs that we find in onion and garlic, so this is usually fructans, they're what's called water-soluble carbohydrates. So that means when it comes into water, they can actually leach out of the food itself and go into the water. However, when these water-soluble carbohydrates come in contact with oil, they don't leach out. So what that means is with the garlic-infused oils and the onion-infused oils is that if you put your garlic and onion in oil, the flavor from the garlic and onion can infuse into the oil, but the FODMAPs themselves aren't transferred into that oil. So you can either do that through just cooking the oil with garlic and onion and remove it, or there's the commercial infused oils as well.
Absolutely. That's such a good way to get that base flavor back in. Now, Chloe, do you want me to talk about how we use those in our test kitchen over on A Little Bit Yummy?
Please, your meals look so nice. Tell me what you do.
Okay, so the first thing to understand about these infused oils, we tend to use the commercial ones in our kitchen. It's less messing around at the start of a recipe, and one bottle will last you like a good month or so when you buy it. So even though it feels like it's a bit of an investment, these products do last in your kitchen. Now, if you are using garlic infused oil or even onion infused oil and you're using it in, say, like a spaghetti bolognese that you're making, we would start by going 1 tablespoon to 4 serves, and we'd just swap out your regular olive oil with that. Now, if you're doing like I don't know, a low FODMAP aioli, so you're trying to make something that's suitable, you don't want to add a tablespoon of that. It's going to be way too much. It's going to be super overpowering and it will taste really weird. So if you're doing something like an infused mayonnaise or a salad dressing, we'd suggest you start with a few drops or like 1/4 teaspoon, and then you build up the flavor from there. That way you've got a lot more control. And if you really love onion or garlic and those flavors, then you can always add an extra drizzle of the garlic infused oils to your meals at the end of cooking, and it will just boost the flavor right back up again. So that's how we use them.
They're great.
Now,
Great tips.
yeah, super easy, very simple, definitely a staple here for us. Now, Chloe, some people are going to say, but I don't have access to the onion or garlic infused oils. What do I do now? And there are some other low FODMAP options. Could you talk to us about those?
Sure. So looking at other things that are sort of in that onion and garlic family. So you've got things like chives, garlic chives, Asian chives, even things like leeks. So we want to be avoiding the bulb that looks, a bit like an onion, but using the leaves, it can still have that sort of flavor. Same with spring onions, using the green leaves. They're really handy. And a really interesting one that's sort of popping up a lot more in the FODMAP community is it's called asafoetida powder. So it's quite often used in I think Indian cooking, but just a little note on that one is it's quite pungent. So you actually only need you only need a bit, but it feels like there's onion in a meal. So there's some good options. What do you guys use for replacements?
Yeah, so we love chives and fresh herbs and bringing in some other, like most dried herbs and spices have a low FODMAP serving size. So you can definitely use those just to bring lots of flavor into your meal. The asafoetida powder, never know if I'm saying that correctly, but
Yeah.
that powder, double bag it if it's going into your pantry, because it will make everything smell. And it's really important that if you're using that, you add it to oil. The flavors need to bloom, so you would add a small pinch to oil. You'll smell it change, and then continue cooking your other ingredients. Definitely don't throw that in at the end of cooking, because it's not it might not end well for you in terms of the flavor profile. So yeah, so we love leek leaves as well. With leek leaves, make sure you chop them finely, just like an onion, and then fry them off at the start of your meal, and then continue adding the rest of your ingredients. So you're definitely on
Great
track with
ideas.
exactly how we like to use them. Awesome. Now that's our little segment on onion and garlic today, Chloe. Thank you for sharing your knowledge with us. If you are looking for more tips on low FODMAP ways to recapture flavor, then please go and check out the Monash University FODMAP blog. That's monashfodmap.com or a littlebit yummy.com for more information. Thanks, Chloe.
Thanks, Alana.